Jonathan's ship rattled violently as it pierced the atmosphere of Azurus. Alarms blared and lights flickered. His heart raced as he executed a controlled crash into the dense jungles of the planet. With a final grating shudder, the craft came to a stop, nestled among towering ferns and whispering trees with leaves like giant feathers. He exhaled deeply, unstrapped his harness, and checked his systems. Most were down or in critical condition. "Great," he muttered, grabbing his repair kit. "Just what I needed on a Tuesday." Stepping outside, the alien world of Azurus greeted him with air thick with the scent of unfamiliar flowers and the chorus of its unseen creatures. The landscape was a vibrant tapestry of greens and blues, with plants that shimmered with a natural luminescence. It was breathtaking and unnerving. As he surveyed the damage to his ship, a rustling sound from the nearby foliage drew his attention. He turned, hand on the pistol at his belt, only to see a figure cautiously approaching. The creature, no, the woman, was unlike any human. Her skin shimmered iridescently with every movement. Her eyes glowed with a soft violet light, and her hair flowed like liquid silver. "Who are you?" Jonathan asked, his voice steady despite his pounding heart. "I'm Rihanna," she replied, her voice musical, echoing strangely in the air. "And you are?" "Jonathan." "I'm a bit lost," he admitted, lowering his weapon. "My ship took a hit from the storm." Rihanna stepped closer, her eyes wide with curiosity as they fixed on his ship. "You came through the cosmic storms? Alone?" "Yeah, I guess I did." He chuckled weakly. "I'm here to explore, to learn. But first, I need to fix my ship." "Can I see?" she asked, a hint of eagerness in her tone. Jonathan hesitated, then nodded. As they walked towards the open panel, he pointed out the fried circuitry. "I need to replace these components to get back into orbit. Any idea where I might find replacements, or better yet, someone who can help?" Rihanna thought for a moment. "We have artisans here, skilled in crafting with K-Ivorin, what you call titanium. I can take you to them." "Lead the way," Jonathan said with a grateful smile. As they ventured deeper into the jungle, Rihanna asked, "What is your home like?" "It's different," Jonathan began. "Less vibrant but beautiful in its way. We have mountains that touch the sky, seas that stretch beyond the horizon, and cities bustling with people." "People like you?" "Yeah, people like me." He laughed. "You know, humans." "Fascinating," Rihanna murmured. "Azurus is all I've known. I wonder what it would be like, seeing your world." "Maybe one day you could visit," Jonathan suggested. "That would be incredible," she said, her voice trailing off as they approached a clearing. In the distance, structures made of a gleaming metallic substance stood proudly among the trees. Rihanna pointed excitedly. "There. That's where the artisans work. They'll help you." As they entered the clearing, several Azurians looked up, their eyes reflecting the sunlight in dazzling patterns. Rihanna spoke rapidly in her flowing, melodic language, gesturing towards Jonathan and his toolkit. An older Azurian stepped forward, his skin a deeper shade of blue, marked with swirls of silver. "Welcome, traveler," he said in halting but clear English. "Rihanna tells us you need assistance. We are happy to help." "Thank you," Jonathan replied, relief washing over him. "I'm in your debt." As the artisans gathered around to examine the damaged parts, Jonathan felt a surge of hope. Here, on this strange new world, surrounded by beings from another species, he found not hostility, but an unexpected offer of friendship. Together, they would mend what was broken, bridging their worlds one repair at a time. Chapter 2: First Contact. Under the guidance of the Azurian artisans, Jonathan began the meticulous process of repairing his ship. Mariana was ever present, her fascination with human technology growing with each circuit they mended. As they worked side by side, Jonathan took the opportunity to learn more about Azurus and its people. "So, Rihanna, tell me about your leaders. How do you govern a place so diverse?" Rihanna smiled, her fingers expertly weaving a wire. "We are led by the Council of Tides, wise ones who understand the ebbs and flows of our world's energies. They seek harmony in all things." "Sounds like a peaceful way to live," Jonathan remarked, adjusting a panel. "It is, most of the time," she agreed. "But it's not without its challenges." As they spoke, another figure approached the ship, tall, imposing Azurian with a stern expression. He was introduced as Soren, one of the council members. "Jonathan, I hear you've come through the cosmic storm," Soren said, his voice deep and resonant. "That's right," Jonathan replied, standing to meet Soren's gaze. "It was a rough ride." Soren nodded, looking over the ship. You must have great skill to navigate such dangers. What brings a human to Azurus? I'm here to explore, learn, and share knowledge, Jonathan explained. I hope to learn from your people and offer what I know in return. An exchange, Soren mused. Interesting. Our people could benefit from new ideas. You are welcome here, Jonathan. Mariana, please continue to assist him. Thank you, Soren. I appreciate the hospitality, Jonathan said, relieved by the endorsement. With Soren's approval, more Azurians began to visit the ship, bringing parts and tools, each eager to see the human and his technology. Among them was Eller, a young and eager artisan who specialized in energy systems. Jonathan, I'm interested in your power source. How does it function? Eller asked, examining the ship's core. Jonathan, intrigued by the interest, explained the basics of the fusion reactor powering his ship. It combines light elements into heavier ones, releasing energy in the process. Fascinating, Eller said. We use the crystals of the Kavara tree, which absorb and redistribute solar energy. Perhaps we could show you. I like that, Jonathan said, always keen to learn more. Days turned into weeks, and with the help of his new Azurian friends, Jonathan's ship slowly came back to life. He spent his days working on the ship and his evenings learning about Azurian culture, attending gatherings, and sharing stories of Earth. One evening, as the sun set in brilliant hues of orange and purple, Jonathan and Rihanna took a walk along the glass river, where the water reflected the sky in a mesmerizing dance of colors. Rihanna, I've been here a while now, Jonathan started, and I've been thinking about what I'll take back with me to Earth. And what have you decided? Rihanna asked, her voice soft. Stories, he said. Stories of a beautiful planet where light dances in the trees and where the people glow with warmth and kindness. Stories of you and everyone who's helped me. Rihanna stopped, turning to face him, her expression thoughtful. And what will you leave behind? Jonathan reached for her hand, his fingers gently intertwining with hers. A part of my heart, I think. You've all changed me in ways I didn't expect. She squeezed his hand, her smile bright under the stars. And you've touched our hearts as well, Jonathan. Azurus will remember you. Their walk continued into the night, their silhouettes blending into the tapestry of lights along the river, a testament to the friendship and understanding bridging two vastly different worlds. Chapter 3, A Storm of Emotions. As Jonathan's understanding of Azurus deepened, so did his relationship with Mariana. Their days were filled with shared tasks and explorations, but it was during an unexpected cosmic storm that their bond truly deepened. One evening, as dark clouds rolled across the sky, Jonathan and Rihanna, accompanied by Eller, prepared to observe the storm from a safe distance. Azurian storms were a spectacle of nature, with lightning that danced across the sky in brilliant colors, unlike anything Jonathan had ever seen on Earth. Are these storms dangerous? Jonathan asked, eyeing the swirling clouds with a mix of awe and nervousness. They can be, Eller replied, adjusting a device that looked like a hybrid between a telescope and a weather station. But they also bring life. The energy from the storms powers much of our technology and nourishes the land. As the first bolts of lightning cracked through the sky, Rihanna led them to a small cave, a natural observatory carved into the side of a hill. We'll watch from here. It's safe and the view is spectacular, she said, her eyes reflecting the flashes of light. Inside the cave, Jonathan set up his equipment to record the storm, hoping to study the phenomenon further. As they settled in, the storm unleashed its full fury. Bolts of lightning arced across the sky, illuminating the landscape in surreal bursts of color. It's beautiful, Jonathan said, his voice filled with wonder. It's more than that, Mariana explained, her gaze fixed on the sky. The storms are a part of us. They remind us of the power of nature, of our need to respect and adapt to our world. Eller nodded in agreement. Many of our greatest innovations have been inspired by these storms. They challenge us to be better. As the storm raged outside, the conversation inside the cave turned personal. Eller shared stories of his youth, of learning to harness the energy of the storms. Mariana spoke of her dreams of seeing other worlds, touched by Jonathan's tales of Earth. Jonathan listened, fascinated. You both speak of the storms with such respect, even love. Back on Earth, we often see nature as something to be conquered, not embraced. That's a lonely way to live, Eller observed. Here, we learn from everything around us. We're part of a larger whole. The storm eventually began to wane, its ferocity giving way to a gentle rain that tapped rhythmically against the cave entrance. In the quiet that followed, Jonathan felt a profound sense of peace. Mariana, Eller, I've learned more than just survival here, Jonathan said, turning to them. I've learned about harmony, about a way of life that's about more than just technology or conquest. Mariana smiled, her hand finding his in the dim light. And we have learned from you, Jonathan. Your curiosity, your spirit, it's infectious. Eller chuckled. Indeed it is. Who knew a human could teach two old Azurians new ways of seeing their world? As they prepared to leave the cave, Jonathan felt a change within himself. The storm outside had mirrored his own internal transformation, a tumult of emotions that had settled into a deep, resonant calm. Walking back through the now peaceful night, Jonathan knew this planet, and the relationships he had forged here had changed him forever. He looked at Mariana, her profile soft in the moonlight, and felt a surge of gratitude. Azurus, with all its mysteries and beauty, had offered him not just refuge, but a new way to see the universe. Chapter 4: Forbidden Fascination. The bond between Jonathan and Mariana deepened as they spent more time together, exploring both the landscape of Azurus and the vast terrain of their diverse cultures. However, not all Azurians viewed their growing closeness with approval. Tensions began to emerge as whispers of their unconventional friendship spread through the community. One afternoon, while Jonathan and Mariana were cataloging plant specimens near the Kavara forests, Soren approached them, his expression stern and unreadable. Accompanying him was another council member, Kthin, a scholarly figure known for his conservative views. Jonathan, Mariana, Soren began, his voice serious. Your association has not gone unnoticed. There are concerns about the appropriateness of such intimacy between a human and an Azurian. Jonathan paused, his hands stilling on the equipment. I respect your customs and mean no disrespect. Our intention is purely to learn from each other. Kthin stepped forward, his tone harsher. Learning is one thing, but this seems to exceed mere academic interest. You must understand, Jonathan, our ways are not just traditions, they are the pillars of our society. Mariana, not one to step back, responded firmly. Kthin, what harm is there in understanding more? Jonathan's presence here has been a boon, not a threat. Soren held up a hand, signaling for calm. We are not accusing you of wrongdoing, but caution is warranted. The council will discuss this matter further. As the council members departed, Jonathan looked at Mariana, worry creasing his brow. Maybe I should leave if my presence is causing you trouble. No, Mariana said quickly, her hand reaching for his. This fear of the unknown, it's something we must confront, not shy away from. Let me speak with them, explain the value of what we're doing. The next day, Mariana set out to meet with the council, leaving Jonathan to his thoughts and his work. While she was gone, Eller visited Jonathan, bringing with him a peace offering of sorts, a device used to study atmospheric phenomena. Jonathan, I heard about the council's concerns, Eller said as they set up the device together. But not all of us are so apprehensive. You've brought a freshness to our methods that's invigorating. Thanks, Eller. I just don't want to cause any divisions. I've come to really appreciate your people, Jonathan admitted, adjusting the device. That's just it, Jonathan. It's not merely academic for you anymore, is it? Eller observed, giving him a knowing look. Jonathan sighed, a mix of frustration and realization crossing his face. No, it's not. I care about Mariana. I care about all of you. What happens to this place? Eller clapped him on the shoulder. Then let's hope the council sees the sincerity in that. Change is daunting, but it's also inevitable. When Mariana returned, her face was unreadable. Jonathan and Eller looked up, anticipation hanging heavily between them. The council has agreed to observe for now, she announced. They're cautious, but willing to see the benefits of our collaboration. Jonathan breathed a sigh of relief, and Eller grinned. See? Sometimes, storms do clear the air. In the days that followed, Jonathan and Mariana resumed their work with a new sense of purpose. They organized a presentation for the council, demonstrating the practical benefits of human technology blended with Azurian techniques. The demonstration was well received, sparking interest and a host of questions from the more skeptical members of the council. Through it all, the bond between Jonathan and Mariana served as a silent testament to the potential for unity. Their shared passion for knowledge and advancement became a bridge, not just between two people, but potentially between two worlds. Chapter 5: The Tumult of Discovery. As Jonathan's time on Azurus extended, the dynamic between him and the Azurians shifted. His presence, once a subject of controversy, began to weave into the fabric of daily life in the community. However, the relationship between him and Rihanna continued to stir undercurrents of dissent amongst some conservative factions. One particularly crisp morning, as Jonathan and Rihanna were discussing plans to integrate human agricultural techniques with Azurian botany, they were interrupted by the arrival of 3 Azurian elders, led by Kfen, who seemed more troubled than usual. "Jonathan, Rihanna," Kfen started, his voice carrying a weight that immediately set Jonathan on edge. "There is talk among the people, talk of things not fitting our ways. This collaboration has sparked more than just curiosity." "What exactly are you saying, Kfen?" Jonathan asked, his tone cautious but firm. "It's about the nature of your relationship," another elder, Syra, added. "This goes beyond scientific or cultural exchange. We fear it may disrupt the essential balance of our society." Jonathan glanced at Mariana, whose expression was resolute. She responded before he could. "Our work here, the bridge we are building, it's for the betterment of both our people. Can you not see the progress we've achieved?" "The progress is undeniable," Kfen admitted, his eyes flicking between the pair. "But it's the personal element we cannot overlook. We must consider the long-term impacts." The discussion was interrupted by Eller, who walked up with a confident stride. "Elders, I've been listening, and with all due respect, I believe you're missing the point. Their work, their bond, it's a catalyst for growth, for evolution. Evolution that might not be in our best interest," Syra countered. Eller looked around, gathering support from other Azurians who had joined them. "Or it could be exactly what we need. We can't hold on to tradition for tradition's sake, not when the universe offers us so much more." The debate grew as more community members joined, each voicing their thoughts. It was clear that Jonathan and Rihanna had become a symbol of a larger conversation about change and openness. Seeing the growing tension, Jonathan stepped forward, raising his hands for peace. "Let's find a way to discuss this that respects all sides. We value your traditions, your way of life. Nothing we do is meant to undermine that." Kfen nodded slowly, the lines of his face softening. "Perhaps there is a way to frame this discussion in terms of mutual benefit rather than potential threat." Rihanna seized the moment to propose a solution. "Why not hold a forum? A place where everyone can express their concerns and suggestions openly. We could use it as a platform to educate, to share not just what we're doing, but why and how it can benefit us all." The suggestion was met with murmurs of approval from the crowd. The elders conferred among themselves briefly before Kfen gave a reluctant nod. "Very well, we will arrange this forum. Let the community decide its path." As the crowd dispersed, Jonathan turned to Mariana with a grateful look. "Thank you for standing up for us, for this." Mariana smiled, squeezing his hand. "It's our future, Jonathan, and it's worth fighting for." The preparations for the forum began, with both Jonathan and Mariana working tirelessly to prepare presentations and demonstrations that would clearly articulate their achievements and visions. The air was thick with anticipation and a sense of impending change, as community braced itself to decide the fate of their interaction with humanity. Chapter 6: Rituals of Bonding. The forum was set to take place under the ancient gathering tree, a colossal organism whose sprawling branches had hosted countless community assemblies over generations. As the Azurians and Jonathan began to gather, the air buzzed with a mixture of excitement and apprehension. Jonathan, alongside Rihanna and Eller, had set up various stations demonstrating their collaborative efforts: hybrid technology modules, agricultural enhancements, and cultural exchange booths. The setup was designed to be interactive, to allow every Azurian to see and touch the fruits of their joint labor. Soren, having been a quiet supporter, approached Jonathan as he made final adjustments to a display showcasing a new energy conversion device. "You've put in considerable effort, Jonathan. I hope today turns the tides in your favor." "Thank you, Soren. I appreciate your support and the chance to show what we've achieved," Jonathan replied, offering a nod of respect. As community members filtered in, curiosity overcame their initial hesitance. Children darted between displays, their laughter a light note in the tense atmosphere. Elders and adults examined the exhibits, their expressions thoughtful, occasionally querying Jonathan or Mariana on the specifics. Kfen was among the last to arrive, his gaze sweeping over the setup with a critical eye. He paused by a station where Azurian and human agricultural techniques were blended to enhance crop yields. This a hybrid approach. How do you ensure it doesn't disrupt our ecosystem? He asked, skepticism clear in his tone. Jonathan was ready with his response, having anticipated such concerns. We've conducted extensive tests to ensure compatibility. Plus, all modifications are reversible. We're not looking to replace your methods, but to enhance them where beneficial. Rihanna joined in, her voice steady and convincing. Then, we respect the balance of Azurus. Our goal is to integrate, not dominate. These enhancements could improve food security without harming the planet. The exchange drew a crowd, and Eller chimed in, adding a broader perspective. It's about adaptation and learning. What we learn from humans could prepare us for future challenges, just as they learn from our ways of harmony with nature. The discussion sparked interest in other stations, encouraging more open conversations. The forum gradually transformed from a formal presentation into a lively exchange of ideas, easing the tension and fostering a communal sense of discovery. As the sun began to set, casting golden hues over the gathering tree, Soren called for attention. Today has shown us the potential of what can be achieved through cooperation. It is time to decide how we move forward. One by one, community members voiced their opinions. While some reservations remained, the overall sentiment leaned towards a cautious but optimistic endorsement of continued collaboration. Feeling the shift in mood, Jonathan took the opportunity to deepen the cultural exchange. I propose a ritual, one that symbolizes our commitment to each other. Back on Earth, we call it a handshake of peace, a gesture of mutual respect and agreement. With Mariana by his side, Jonathan extended his hand to Kthin, who looked momentarily surprised but then, with a slight smile, accepted the gesture. Their handshake, firm and meaningful, was met with applause from the gathered crowd. Encouraged by this symbolic act, others stepped forward, sharing handshakes and expressions of goodwill between humans and Azurians. The ritual, simple yet profound, marked a new chapter in their relationship, one based on mutual respect and shared aspirations. As the forum concluded, Jonathan, Rihanna, and their allies gathered under the now starlit sky, their faces illuminated by both the bioluminescent flora and a new hope for their joint future. The bonds formed today, they knew, would help steer their communities towards a horizon filled with possibilities. Chapter 7: Integration and Acceptance. In the weeks following the forum, the integration of human technology with Azurian culture began to take a more defined shape. Jonathan and Rihanna, along with their expanding team of both human and Azurian collaborators, worked diligently to implement the projects that had been showcased and approved by the community. One afternoon, as they reviewed the progress of a hybrid energy system, a new face joined their team. Lavar, a young Azurian engineer renowned for his innovative thinking, approached Jonathan with a mix of curiosity and enthusiasm. Jonathan, I've been following your work closely. I believe I can contribute to optimizing the energy flow with some of our native technologies. Welcome aboard, Lavar, Jonathan replied with a warm smile. We could use your expertise. Let's see what we can create together. As they delved into the technical details, Soren and Eller observed from a distance, discussing the broader implications of this growing collaboration. It's remarkable, Soren noted, how quickly they adapt and innovate together. It seems we underestimated the potential of this partnership. Yes, and it's more than just the technology, Eller added. Look around. See how our people are starting to embrace these new ideas, how they're working side by side with Jonathan and the others. It's creating a synergy I've never witnessed before. Meanwhile, Jonathan and Lavar, assisted by a team of Azurian and human engineers, tested the new energy system. The device, powered by a combination of solar energy and human-engineered batteries, was designed to be more efficient and environmentally friendly. All right, let's power it up and see if our modifications hold, Jonathan said, initiating the system. The machine hummed to life, its indicators glowing steadily, a successful integration. Cheers erupted around them, and Lavar clapped Jonathan on the back. We did it. This will revolutionize our energy applications. Jonathan's response was interrupted by the arrival of Kthin, who had come to see the results for himself. I must admit, I was skeptical. But seeing this, understanding the mutual benefits, it's impressive. Thank you, Kthin. It's all about finding the right balance, Jonathan replied, pleased to see the shift in Kthin's attitude. As the project continued to evolve, so did the community's perception of the human presence on Azurus. Jonathan was invited to speak at various community events. We shared insights about human culture and technological advancements, further bridging the gap between the two species. One such event was a cultural exchange festival, where Azurians and humans share their traditions, music, and food. Jonathan and Rihanna hosted a booth displaying both human and Azurian technological artifacts. "This festival is a symbol of how far we've come," Rihanna said to Jonathan as they handed out samples of Earth-style snacks alongside traditional Azurian refreshments. "It really is," Jonathan agreed, watching a group of Azurian children laughing with human kids. "Seeing everyone together like this, sharing and learning from each other, it feels like we're building something lasting." The festival ended with a ceremony where leaders from both communities spoke about the importance of unity and collaboration. Soren took the stage, his voice resonant as he addressed the crowd. "Today marks a new era for Azurus, one of unity and shared destiny. Let us continue on this path, exploring new horizons together as friends and partners." As the crowd applauded, Jonathan felt a profound connection to Azurus and its people. He realized that his journey had become much more than a scientific expedition. It was now a pivotal part of his life, woven into the fabric of this alien community. The night concluded with a display of Azurian light dancing, a traditional art form enhanced by human light technology, symbolizing the fusion of their two cultures. As the lights danced across the sky, Jonathan stood beside Rihanna, their hands intertwined, watching the bright future they were helping to create unfold before their eyes. Chapter 8: A Cosmic Alliance. Months had passed since Jonathan first arrived on Azurus, and the integration of human and Azurian cultures had progressed significantly. The initial projects had not only succeeded but had also sparked a series of new collaborations across various fields. As a result, a delegation of humans from Earth arrived on Azurus to learn and possibly implement similar integrative approaches back home. On the day of their arrival, Jonathan and Rihanna, along with Soren and Eller, prepared to host a symposium where these new ideas and technologies would be showcased. The event was set in a large auditorium, designed by Azurians and built with materials and techniques inspired by human engineering. As guests began to fill the seats, Jonathan adjusted the final touches on a presentation that highlighted the journey from first contact to the flourishing partnership they enjoyed today. "It looks like everything's ready," he said to Rihanna, who was checking the interactive displays outside the hall. "Yes, everything looks perfect. I'm excited to see what questions the Earth delegate have," she replied, her eyes reflecting a mix of anticipation and pride. The symposium began with Soren addressing the audience, his deep voice filling the room. "Welcome, friends from Earth and Azurus. Today, we celebrate not just the success of our joint initiatives, but also the potential for these collaborations to extend beyond our planet." Jonathan then took the stage, his presentation illustrating the technical and cultural exchanges that had enriched both communities. Through these partnerships, Jonathan explained, "We've not only solved practical problems, but also learned to appreciate and integrate our very different perspectives on life, technology, and the universe." As the presentation concluded, LeVar led the first round of questions, his enthusiasm evident. "Jonathan, can you elaborate on how the hybrid energy systems have impacted our environmental protocols?" "Absolutely," Jonathan responded. "The systems we developed are twice as efficient as our previous ones and have significantly reduced the ecological footprint of energy production on Azurus. We believe these systems can be adapted for use on Earth as well, offering a sustainable alternative to fossil fuels." The dialogue opened up, with various attendees asking technical questions and others curious about the social impacts of these exchanges. An Earth delegate asked, "How have your people responded to these changes, Soren? Is there a sense of loss of tradition?" Soren's reply was thoughtful. "Change always brings challenges. However, we've worked hard to ensure that these new technologies and ideas complement rather than replace our traditions. It's a balance, continuously adjusted, ensuring that our core values are preserved while embracing beneficial innovations." The symposium transitioned into a workshop session, where Azurian and human experts collaborated in small groups, brainstorming solutions for shared challenges like climate change, resource management, and education. Jonathan and Rihanna led a group focused on educational exchanges, proposing a student program between Earth and Azurus. As the day drew to a close, the groups shared their proposals, many promising enough to warrant further development. The delegates from Earth were visibly impressed, some expressing their eagerness to implement similar programs. "We've started something incredible here," Rihanna said to Jonathan as they walked through the exhibit hall, now quiet. "We have," Jonathan agreed, looking around at the emptying space. "It feels like we're part of a larger universe now, more connected than ever." "That's because we are," Rihanna smiled. Through cosmic storms, their human and alien love prevails. She quoted their ongoing joke about the improbable odds of their successful partnership. Laughing together, they left the hall, their steps light with the satisfaction of having not only bridged two worlds, but potentially paving the way for a more interconnected cosmos. The lights of Azurus twinkled through the gathering dusk, a visible reminder of the bright future they were helping to forge, a future where humanity and Azurian culture could thrive together, exploring new horizons side by side.